That here we are again. Here we are again.
Every day above ground is a good day.
I know. So why are they shoveling dirt on me
That's,
every day?
why do I have dirt in my
Anytime.
eyes? Jesus.
My eyes. I'm blind. Yeah, you know the routine. Go back David
That's
Flyer
quick.
over and find my comic. Huh? What? Would you
So that was a
prefer?
quick.
Let's get ready to rumble. It's a 4 o'clock shadow. That's right. There's no other show on YouTube like it. Episode 12, My Window to the World, and that's what this is. Getting back on schedule and new creation cards. What are they? Will you want to buy them? Perhaps. Perhaps
Wow, you
not.
actually
Here
made
we
that.
are, Leighton Gay, and doing the voice like Homer Glitch. Something like that. He's got into this thing of, hey, I want to sell you a brand new car, type thing. Like,
Homer is a salesman at the heart, dude. He can't help himself.
okay, I
He's,
never knew that about him.
he's,
Yeah,
he,
he's,
he's found
yeah.
his calling, dude. Like,
Oh, you think so? I'm still not
yeah,
buying a car from him.
selling himself. That's all it is with Homer.
Well, nobody
It's
wants
great.
to buy
I
it,
love
though.
Homer.
So, job security, he can just keep selling.
Yeah, but you rent them for a little while. You know,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
don't you
yeah,
don't want to
okay.
actually
So he's a
have
gigolo,
them all
confirmed.
the time.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Raw Deer 6480 in the house. Hello.
Yeah.
You can still back Frog G on Indiegogo.
Yes, Indiegogo's misfortune with their downtime is some creators forge it. So go back, Jason, if you haven't yet.
Well, now he said it was going to remain, even though they had a closeout, it was going to remain in demand until they went to print. So really, that didn't apply.
But I don't know. Indiegogo put out some kind of statement about redoing everything, and there was going to be like a total pause on shit for like a week or 10 days.
Yeah, so around November 4th. That's what I'd heard too, but Jason came in one of the late night chats or whatever, and I asked him about that, and he said that it was going to remain in demand. I was like, oh, okay, because I thought, but that's all right. We haven't really pushed Frog G as much as we probably should have, so I'd like to see him get to 5,000 and get to that spot gloss.
Yeah. I mean, you know me. I'm a big Jason backer, dude. But Jason, Death Metal Hero, I love those guys, man. I've been a follower and supporter for years now. Shit, I got 8 pieces, 10, 13, 14 pieces of Bascom artwork up on my wall as we speak.
Wow, that is impressive. Yeah.
And that's not even everything I've got. That's just who I got room for on the wall.
You're going to have to go these roll-up tubes pretty soon. Either that or top loaders, and have like a portfolio.
Yeah, I've been putting them in. I put them in top loaders, and then I put them into. I found some little hard plastic storage bins that are just the right size. So I store my extra art in those guys with. I put those little bags with the crystals in them and keep the moisture out and all that stuff.
Oh, what
do they call it? Desiccants. Yeah. Like I found a place online where you can get big bags of them, like big fat bags, like that fit in the palm of your hand. And you just throw one of those into the crate.
Silica? Is it silica?
Yeah, like silica sand or whatever it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
that ones that only say Do not eat.
No, right. And most people throw them away. You know, it comes with packets.
Mhm. But you know,
You
those
know,
things last for a long, long time. I usually don't throw mine away. I'll put them all and bag them up in an airtight container and then use them as I need to. I keep them in my comic book boxes and in my basement for, like,
yeah.
where my toys are stored and shit. So, yeah, it's handy to have those little boogers. But you gotta change them out every so often.
This is a gift. Look at that. People in hell are the beast mouth. That's wild, huh?
Okay, that's different.
That's wild. That's different. Yeah. Uh, Omer Glitch in the house.
Oh,
Omer, drop your link for tonight's show. The Drawing Friends show, I believe it's called. Fun My Comic
hey,
is the
Omar,
way to
hey,
go. Apex
Apex.
Comics says, "Hey Apex."
Hail Apex. Back Apex live now. It's on my comic. I'm back.
Indiegogo is changing their TOS soon, which I don't know what that means. What is TOS? I think in
Oh,
demand
that's
is
cool, Elder. I didn't realize
dollars
you
per
could do that.
campaign.
Just try them out and use them again. Oh, nice.
90 days. Well, they just need to take down, remember I've said a long time ago when my ash cam was up there and Billy Tucci was coming in with one of his campaigns, right? He wasn't coming in. Actually, he had ended it and it was still trending because he made money. Well, that kicked the rest of us down the line, you know, uh,
Right. Yeah. I
when
remember
we
when that
weren't
was going on. Mm-hmm.
it's up to the top, and it's like this is a campaign that is kicking my live book down the line
Yeah,
because
and it was a
it kind
dead
of trended
campaign.
there
But,
toward the end. I kind of get it, but it's a dead campaign. They need to do something about that because you've got some
yeah,
that are still funding that are being
they got to
knocked
create
down.
like a line of separation, like between in demand and what's still live.
How
Um,
prescient is that old song? You gotta separate it. Exactly.
you got to keep them
Caleb
separated.
Reynolds in the house. Hello, Caleb. Terms of
Okay,
service.
what's up?
Okay. I should have known that.
TOS.
All this speak,
Touching
TOS.
my
I'm
mind.
thinking Star Trek The Next Generation, because they do the same thing with that title. I'm like, abbreviations and memes are going to
That's
be the death of it.
PNG. Oh,
Nobody
all
ever
right. Fair
speaks,
warning.
Huh?
Fair warning. Jay-Z's gonna go off for a minute. I gotta mute.
Pale Rider in the house. Hello. Saying, what
Ciao,
up,
Jay-Z.
hookers?
Say hi.
Simbat is
Ciao.
alive and well
Ciao.
over there. Or
Boom.
is it? It's a
Boom.
vampire tale. Uh,
Hi, stuff. All right, sorry about
when I was married, I sounded the same way. Oh. Married jokes and ex jokes are the easiest. I'm just saying. So I've been myself and I've been up trying to get back on nighttime schedule. I kind of like I pretty much did that all this year anyway. But last week, I worked some daytime hours as well as some nights. So I was working day and night. Not every night, I think maybe just one night I did that. Could have done it a lot more this year, but it would have killed me. It's just too much, especially since I probably drive more hours than anybody. I've got one of the longest, if not the longest route, the best, really the best route. Now, some of those like Walnut Ridge which, Walnut Ridge is a nightmare too. Don't like it much, but we've got a guy, Larry Robert, that does.
Walnut Ridge. Coming this
Walnut
October.
Ridge. Yep. Well, we've got some strange sounding places just like any state, right?
Oh, yeah.
The nighttime is the right time, Apex Comics says. Absolutely. I work better on third shift. I just do. So what I've been working on mostly is since I got up, I didn't do a stream last night. I rested. I got up very early.
Oh,
I started in writing and thinking a lot, primarily wrote bits of dialogue, wrote story ideas, thinking about titles for the show. But primarily, what I started in this yesterday was listing the 43 and trying to, find different concepts for characters. They were just concepts for characters, right? Like if a person was like the living embodiment of water, of fluid, right?
right.
So it's like, okay, I put a placeholder for number 36 fluid,
Okay,
I
I
kind
was
of
just
wanted
going to ask you, how many of the 43 have you come up with so far?
only like 2 slots to fill.
There's only 2 left.
Yeah.
Wow,
And,
dude,
and,
that's fucking amazing. I thought you
and now,
still had 15, 16 of them left to go.
yeah, and out of those, only 3 characters were kind of wrote in, like already created Grimstalker, and I thought he would work. There's that other green and purple guy that I don't even have a name for that I've already done a little sketch card for. He was an older character.
Oh, yeah.
The one with the energy, firing the energy from his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Twisted
Daisy says,
Man.
say hi.
Hey, Daisy. I was Twisted Man translation. Rex spent the morning on the couch eating Captain Crunch out of the box. Confirmed. No,
Okay,
don't eat that.
there you
No.
go. You're a
Yeah,
superstar.
but yeah, and some of these are like just like placeholders. Because, and I even took one of Bog's old characters, which was
Oh,
kind of like a red living plant that he would battle. But I also, when I started doing the head sketches, I did a couple of him in human form, and he's the evil looking cactus looking guy, And so I just put down here
ooh,
plant guy,
I got a good name for you. The Deadly Orchid.
Okay. That sounds more like a woman though, but
Well, I mean,
okay. The
perhaps.
Deadly Orchid. Okay. And I also looked
I
at
don't know.
power sets. What would round this sort of group out? Uh,
Mm.
well, as
Well,
far
you
as
got
powers,
43 of them, dude. You got to be covering like pretty much the whole gamut of powers with
well,
43.
let's go through what I've got so far, just real quickly here.
Oh God, because of that. Jesus.
Okay,
I'm
it just
just
gives a
messing
show.
with you,
I
bro.
don't know what to do with that.
I'm just messing with you, bro. You know that. Yeah.
Well, we've got, of course, we've got Dr. K. We've got Dr. K. But he's not like one of the 43. He's like one of the experimenters,
Yeah, he's like, he's
he's one of
not
the
one of
research
the
guys, and butchers,
right. He's
kind of,
responsible for like the accident, not
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I mean, he kind of contributed to the research, he's
part of
one of
it.
many mad scientists. They were trying all kinds of stuff. That's the thing about the wacky Nazis. They were really into some weird crap, especially
We are not
pre-World War
mad.
II.
We are very happy.
Hey,
We are
Elsie.
happy. Hey,
Yeah, we've got sort of the energy, the all energy chick. Energy chick. There you go. She could
that's a good name.
she could whore herself out as an energy drink and then kind of reform in their stomach and explode. Energy drinks are very popular. Anyway, so she's kind of energy based, with no sort of human form. I think if she concentrated a little bit, she could maybe take on a corporeal Kirby Crackle looking energy form. That's why the cloak is there, And over time, the cloak could probably be a little modified to kind of contain her power a little, you know, but it's just to give her some ominous look, you know, and in a way, she's kind of ashamed of the way she looks. You know, some of these Nazis went into this experiment expecting to come out the Superman, you know, the Ubermensch and the ultimate Nazi, and it didn't happen. You know, in fact, a lot of them are bent, deformed, psychotic. You know,
Right, they thought they
it's
were
a
going to
wide.
be. They thought they were going to be perfected, and
They were going to be perfected, right? And why the diversity? Well, see, I've given this some thought. They were all receiving different treatments. It was the final sort of Vita Ray or whatever you want to call it treatment that they were infused with, the transporter accident that sent them to time and appeared to have disintegrated them, but it just displaced them. But you've got Viro. He kind of, I'm thinking he's kind of infectious. He's always been kind of an infectious type character. I've given it some thought and written some stuff on that, but I'm not going to tell everything. Throwback, of course, is sort of devolved. He's real upset about not becoming the perfect. You know, a lot of this plays into their psychology. You know, Collider.
Yeah, he's got to be pissed.
You know, thinking about Super Collider, his costume just kind of, you know, and Collider's pretty cool. Collider seems like he would fight you all the time, right? He collides or jumps into a fight all the time. He's a brawler. The new character, two new characters actually created the same day, the Ghost and Pretty Pretty. Pretty Pretty has like the mind of a child, and she's energy kind of constructs too, almost like Green Lantern, but she does it with her mind. You know, she can become a giant deadly butterfly, or you know, all kinds of stuff. You know, just wherever her mind, whatever her childlike mind can think up, you know, scribble on a piece of paper or something. It's almost like it can come to life.
Right, you can like make it appear. Like,
the Ghost, I kind of see as like the Vision type character, you know, but a dark Vision, and I've thought about that as a name for a separate character, Dark Vision. But Equilibrium, he's kind of like Vertigo in DC Comics. I don't know if you remember Vertigo, but he messed with your equilibrium and perception of things, and was kind of a trippy. Because with a lot of these, I'm looking, you know, the visual.
The Vertigo line from DC Comics. I don't remember the character specifically.
Okay. He had like a green costume with these rings that kind of went out through the costume, you know.
Oh, like kind of like spirally. Yeah, I think. Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, and you know that's part of it. Like their powers, I want it to be real trippy in some cases, right? I mean, some of them are going to be more trippy than others, but and some are going to be more deformed than others.
Yeah, and a bunch of the recent batch that you've been showing off have been some kind of trippy characters too. Even getting pretty wild with these guys. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a wild experiment. You know, it's the stuff of science fiction. You know, but with a little Frankenstein. It's kind of like that Frankenstein science. You know, with all the sparking stuff. And, yeah, it's alive. Blood Sword is sort of like Colossus in a way. He's sort of organic steel.
Okay.
Around his body, you know, except he's like all golden in color. You know, I've always kind of envisioned him as a golden type character. I think there's a little. I think there's a little Vector from the UFOs in there. You know,
Wetworks from Image back in the day. They all got coated in a impervious gold coating by some kind of alien accident.
There you go. You mean Sunday Fun Day Art Nights. There we go. Yeah. And I'll be work cocaine gold. Cocaine gold, yes. That's what Pell Rider said. Yeah, I will be working on some of those sketch cards probably. I don't know. I'm actually wanting to get to I would like to, and this is going to blow Omer's mind because I'm not a big Trencher fan. I've got probably all the issues of Trencher or a bunch of them, okay, and multiples. I was not a fan of. I mean, I applaud his. I applaud his what he was trying to do with Image, and like Omer says, follow the money. He made money with that for a short time. I just don't think people want. I mean, now like Jason Bascom and other people, they like it. Omer likes it. But when I look at that, like his Legion of Superhero stuff, and I go back even 10 years prior to that, to the first stuff I saw that was more Kirby-esque when he was working on the Defenders. One of my second issue for Defenders, because I got one before I started collecting, which was Defenders number 15, and that was Sal Buscema. But the first one that I bought off the stands myself was Defenders number 50. And they went up there.
Now, what was the artist on it? It wasn't Portasio, wasn't it? It was.
Well, let me tell you, just don't strain your brain. It's Keith Giffen.
Keith Giffen, yeah, dude. I was not a big fan of the art style when it came out, but I collected them all because I was collecting all the Image books at that point.
All the Image stuff.
Yeah.
And why was that? Why did you just blanketly say I want everything they come out with? Because you thought it was going to be collectible, or what?
Yeah, I was doing a little what do you call it? Investing and thinking about eBay in the future and shit like that. So I would buy 2 or 3 copies of all the new stuff, and especially Image the first 2, 3, 4 years. They were putting out new number ones like 4 or 5 times a year. So, you had to get in on all of that when you're speculating. So, yeah, it was good times for about 5 or 6 years, and then everything went down the toilet again.
Well, the thing that I like about doing these sketch cards is I see my universe coming together and forming, from new characters like Croc-Bog, which I've already got Ryan to do me a nice Croc-Bog. There's 2 Croc-Bogs.
Ryan's pick is awesome, dude. Did you do 2 of them for you already?
I've done 2 of them. Yeah, remember the first one? Oh,
you've done 2. Okay.
I've done 2 of them. Yeah.
Gotcha. You said Ryan did 2 of them. Sorry.
No, it was me. But I am doing like a subset of bogs with different bogs. Because
dude, 10 you gotta get bogs. Like a Funko Pop or something made out of that little guy.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a possibility with Funko. They'll make a Funko out of anything,
Yeah, they'll custom make you one if the price is right.
If the price is right, yeah. And a lot of these, like Pretty and Ghost, are the very first appearances, the first time I, created them. So it's pretty neat. And a lot of them, it's the first time they've been in color, So there's Blood Sword there. I actually took that from an Iron Man cover, where he's kind of buried under rock. Because I don't want these just to be all headshots, and a lot of them are coming out as headshots, but
right. Yeah.
I want there to be a variety of things that's going on. I was looking for one. Oh, Equilibrium, I think, was the one I was looking for. Yeah, there's the first Croc-Bog right there, where he's kind of treading through the water and got the water and the blood.
Yeah, I like the way he did the blood floating around his muzzle there. It's pretty cool. Very nice, Rex. Very nice.
But now there's only like Thunder Rock here. They're pretty small on these things to do some kind of scene like this. Still working.
Yeah, what is it, like 2.5 by 3.5, something like that? 2.5 by 3.25. I forget what the
trading card size, very small, and then even the drawing space is even smaller than that. But I'm, you know, this kind of inspired me, just the colored version. And I have colored her before, but it was all in green. This one's got a multitude of colors.
Yeah,
And
that's
like
cool.
this is almost like a pink magenta, but on my camera it comes out purple, the background. But
Okay.
it's I can't wait to get to the psychology of some of these characters and stuff. So you know, and get developing on some of them.
The hell are you talking about, Pale Rider? Crazy man.
But there's Equilibrium, there's Blood Sword, Baron Steel, and I came up with something on Baron Steel. You know why he does what he does, and a little bit about his background. There's Stone. We named the Stone guy Stone, and I thought that was cool.
Hey, yeah. I mean, it works.
I added. I know it's kind of like a generic term, but you know, I added. Remember the guy in the Hellfire Club that made people heavy? The big fat guy that kind of looked like a fat John Byrne.
Yeah, it was Leland something or another. I read him. They called him. What do they call him? That was his like code name. I forgot. But yeah, he made the mistake of making Wolverine even heavier when he was jumping on. The Wolverine just like punched through him like a fucking, you know, adamantium claw through a sheet of fucking aluminum foil.
Omer says, didn't the Funko Pop company just tank on the stock market like a few weeks ago? The company's on the way out. It's burning down.
Oh, really? Yeah, probably. I'm not surprised. It was bound to happen.
I'm not either. Yeah. They tried to remain relevant.
It was like Beanie Babies, dude. They tried to get into everything and they exploded and everything. It was super popular for a little while, and all these people spent a bunch of money, and now they're stuck with a bunch of, you know, blow molded fucking plastic bullshit that's never gonna be worth anything.
Well, I mean, you know, they did Marvel bobbleheads that were very popular at like a lot of the rental places.
Yeah, I mean, some of the rare pieces and stuff, yeah, they'll be worth a little bit.
Some of the early stuff, yeah.
90% of them are going to be dust collectors, bro.
I agree. It's like the TY things,
those new little weird other things.
The Beanie Babies.
Oh, the Beanie Babies. Yeah, Beanie Babies, like they exploded for what, like 3-4 years, and then just the market tanked, dude.
Yeah, and they kind of got wild with their practices, almost like Diamond, did with their distribution of you got to buy so many copies to get this variant cover.
Yeah, to get like
they were like
limited.
I talked to a guy that's got thousands of those things, those Beanie Babies, and they were hot for a while, but they got stuck with thousands of them. They were like, yeah, a minimum order is like 3 cases, and there's so many in just one case. And they were ridiculous at the end. And it's like, well, stupid, quit when you see the market slowing down on them, stop buying so much of them. You know, it's like freaking hell. But they made good money with them for a while because they stocked them quite heavily. But and they had the whole room, he showed me, you know, in the back of these things, just full, you know, out in the open. It was pretty wild. You mean the American stuff, Rex? Like that is kind of how I saw it. Respect. I don't know what you're talking about there. I'm sorry.
American
company was doing fine until they hired Stupid.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel. Was that what we were talking about there? Yeah, the fucking stupid broad decided she was going to change up the whole landscape of a restaurant that's like in the top 10 in the nation for years.
Yeah, Omer says they hired a woke dumb bitch to run the company, and she ran it into the ground in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
And she was proud to do it. Came out and made a big old announcement about it, how woke they were, and they were going to redo the signs and get all the junk off the walls. It wasn't going to be
Right.
like a big old comfortable
But
country
now that's
store
Cracker
anymore.
Barrel. I think he's talking about Funko Pop. The same thing happened with Funko Pop.
Oh, they did. Well, I mean, it's when you go too far, you go too far. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't
And
know that
this,
what happened with Funko, but I've expected that collapse for like years already. They make Funko Pops out of everything.
just trying to get my camera to focus with a piece of bark. This is like a piece of bark that I take off.
I see that. Yeah.
This is off my ash tree, and every now and then it sheds, sometimes huge pieces of bark, kind of like that big old pine
Well,
tree out there.
you made
All
it
my
home
trees are
before me.
big. But now I don't know what this is. I've got this at the base of the tree right before the broadcast. It might be a piece that the squirrels were chewing on, sort of the dead part, and it's like sculpted. I don't know, but it's definitely off the tree. It was probably a dead, very soft, and they're sharpening their teeth. I don't know. I've never found. I don't think I've found a piece like this, and it's really lightweight, like styrofoam. Um, but I've been saving that stuff since Rex got wood. Yes, I do. Thank you. Bootlicking bonanza. Yeah, so I got the sort of energy guy. I've got Siphon, that's kind of like a parasitic, convert energy to a bio type energy. He kind of started out as like a radioactive type character, in mind. I don't know if his energy is radioactive or not, but it's definitely going to have some curb or crackle. And sort of corrosive character, Meltdown. Cinder, of course, he's like the fire uh, guy. Twisted Man, he kind of twists reality. Um, Zeitgeist, he's kind of like Kirby Crackle energy. And then there's the insect guy that I created back in 2008. I'm thinking about Hive for a name for him. HIVE, Hive.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the sort of the Quake Master, the earthquake guy, or Aftershock. And then there's the ice guy. And I've got one down as a metal guy, and I'm not sure who that is because Baron Steel's already on here. And so is Blood Sword. He's all sort of metal. Experiment 43. He's very misshapen and warped in the mind. He's kind of like a master mind, Necrosis. One character. Well, define necrosis, the term necrosis for me, because I can't remember. That name came to me and I looked it up.
It's usually caused by like frostbite or like a venom from a bug or a snake. It destroys your
tissue,
the structure of your skin. It's like a flesh-eating virus type thing.
Yeah, and I thought he might even have the power to kind of reanimate the dead and make them into kind of like a controlled army.
That makes sense too, though, because that would be necromancy. So it also fits with the name. That's what they call being able to reanimate the dead and extract information as a necromancer.
And there's that pitted up guy. I kind of feel like he's almost like Throwback. He came back in the atmosphere. He looks like a pitted up meteorite. And then there's the techno sort of hacker guy. I figure maybe he can open up portals or gateways, and that he's kind of an anchor point to it, which is good to have a character like that because they could just like port in to Chicago or to New York or anywhere else in the world, right? With this guy, he kind of hacks the system. He can't time travel.
Right.
None of them are going to be able to time travel. But
Right, because they got like
He
displaced, right, in time.
he's kind
The
he's
original.
kind of like that Aborigines guy that was in the mutant that was in
In the
Australia.
X-Men for a little while? Yeah.
Yeah,
Warp?
Gate. I think he was just called Gate, wasn't he?
Yeah, Gateway, something. Yeah, Gateway, man.
Gateway, something like that. Yeah, Gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Um,
Oh,
yeah, two more
no,
characters to reach 43, but now some of these are just like. And then you remember a crystalline guy. See, I've still got to design him, and I've just got like a placeholder name for him. But like a crystalline black guy that like
yeah, like
was on the original.
Eric Dinswood.
Hey Eric,
Yeah.
on the original Guardians of the Galaxy, the
Was
crystal
it
guy.
wasn't Chris Star, was it?
No, it wasn't Chris Star. That's something that came out in the early '80s and had a toy line.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
But you know
no,
what he
I don't
looked like,
remember.
right? Sort of faceted diamond like guy. Not really. Okay.
You got anything?
Guardians of the
Piece of art you
Galaxy,
can
the
pull
original
up?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dude, I hardly got any of those issues. That was fucking on the racks at the time, and none of my stores carried Guardians of the Galaxy. I only got like 2 or 3 out of the whole run.
Tisk. Now they were heavily in the early Defenders issues. They were in the Avengers issues
Right?
and other
Again.
stories, but you
And I
missed out.
wasn't a big Avengers. I wasn't a big Avengers fan, so I didn't.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
I was.
kick me.
Kick you. Yes, I did. Yeah, you're not a big. Well, that's okay. That's your prerogative. I wasn't a big X-Men fan till I was. You know, they didn't
I
carry
was
it
an
on the
X-Men
stands
guy.
for years. I never saw an X-Men book till late '70s. I'd already been collecting for years before I ever saw an X-Men book.
Mm. Well, and I told you, like, the first 10 years that I started collecting, like, from when I was 9 years old until damn near high school, I didn't even really read superhero comics. I was reading all the horror books, man. You
Yeah,
know,
well, that was my
my
gateway
shit.
drug too. That's what I started
Yeah.
out with. You know,
That was my stuff, man. I love the horror books, the old
yeah.
Vampirellas, all that.
Well,
fucking,
I like it all, and then examining why does Rex operate in like heroes and stuff like that. I like the different genres. I'm trying to work in the different genres. As you know, like Grey Tales is kind of like a throwback to Charlton horror or something like that, you know, and so is the Dirty Joe story. You know, and while building these characters, some are noir characters like Silver Bowen, Lady of the Night, and there's Western characters. There'll be sci-fi characters. You know, you'll get a little bit of everything, and it'll all make sense. You know, and there'll be some trippy villains. You know, like these 43 are going to be really some of the trippiest characters. You know, with the trippiest
You gonna do
powers.
some 60s Spider-Man cartoon shit.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am.
What was that, 67, 68 when they put that out? It was fucking awesome.
Well, you know, just
of course, I watched them later. I was born in 67, but
right. Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching all that hero stuff, and then during the '70s, there just wasn't a lot of it. They Filmation kind of went to live stuff. What they had on wasn't that great compared to the '60s. And a lot of that was because of Ted Kennedy and passing that legislation against violence for kids, and kind of ruined cartoons. You know, you didn't get exciting stuff like Johnny Quest or Herculoids or anything like that anymore.
You're killing me, Eric.
So you got Blitzkrieg. She's my speedster. So somebody let Eric July know that I've got a speedster. And then also Zigzag. He's the good guy. You know, he's a speedster. You gotta have a speedster.
You didn't call her something shifty, did you?
No.
No. I think you're
Grimstalker. I figure he's like a sort of that hunter good with a gun, sniper. I mean, he's more than that. He's got like energy arms, and you've seen Grimstalker.
Yeah,
And I just kind of he's one of those characters that I already created and kind of rolled into the, because he looks like he could be a badass looking, Nazi type character with his costume.
yeah, kind
And
of
then one I'm not
like
going to show you that I've just got the
enforcer dude, right? You bring him
an
in when you
enforcer type guy. Yeah, he's
you want to tear shit up, send him in there.
and there is probably one of the trippiest. If you think that Slaver is a trip to look at, one that I've got as a placeholder called the Slender Man is going to be a real. It's going to be a real trip. He's going to give Slaver a really run for his money for one of the creepiest characters that I've created. He did not come out of the experiment. Let's put it this way: he'll never get a date again. But then a lot of the 43 won't either.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah.
And his legs
Most of them
fused
are
together.
probably
He's snake-like. Most of them are what?
Most of them probably. I said most of them probably won't be on what's that? Plenty of Fish or whatever that website used to be for all the dating crap.
Eric
Most
says Rex should name his female speedster the Streak. Her clothes fall off soon as she reaches 100 miles an hour.
Oh, yes,
And then,
and
then there's a lot of speed lines to cover up the nudity.
That's the thing on 2 feet. Remember the Streak?
Boogada. Yes, Boogada. Yep. Also remember Justice Swinging. And then I got to do some kind of underwater character, and I thought maybe I could go sort of like he's a reject. He's really hideous looking, but an underwater.
Instead of Namor, you could call him Rommel.
Rommel for the tank general.
Rommel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what Image did. They reversed. They took their Namor type character and spelled it back, and he was called Roman.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying the same thing. You just pronounce it differently. Rommel, like a Spanish name.
And originally, that's how Namor got his name back in the 30s. They wanted something regal sounding, so they spelled Roman backwards. And that's how he became Namor.
Right. Yeah, they were trying to come up with like the name for a king or something. And they were like,
and then when Image came around and they had their underwater guy, they said, well, we'll go back and call him Roman. Why not? Okay.
Like, watch how the tables have turned.
Blockade. I don't know what Blockade, but that's a great name for a character, and it's kind of warlike, right?
Blockade.
Blockade. Yeah. And Panzer.
I don't know if anybody has used that one yet or not.
Pansy. No, not. Now, see, I've got myself doing it. He's not a pansy. He's a Panzer. Like a Panzer tank. And you got to have that sort of Image big gun type guy. Remember the guy that could make guns out of his arms, stuff. I figure he could make, big turret, boo, boo, with his whatever, and he'll be armored up. He'll be kind of impenetrable to a certain degree, Panzer. And I don't know what Huh?
So a little bit like Juggernaut, but with a projectile powers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna be a tough skinned, and then I wanted to create a character that carries a shield like Captain America, but now here's a Nazi character that does that. And his name in German would be Victory.
Okay, I like that.
And
Here's an idea.
then you have to have kind of like a spy, right? An espionage
What the
guy.
what's his shield gonna look like, right?
Don't know yet. Have to design it.
Okay, just a suggestion.
Okay.
You do like the old school Captain America shield, you know, like the triangular one,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the front of it you have the Nazi eagle in black on a silver shield.
Yeah. You know, I actually did Devil Flyer with a shield, a drawing with Devil Flyer that had a shield and it had a bird, like, with claws and everything on the shield.
Oh shit, really? Oh,
I'll have to show you that.
you
Yeah.
might have shown you that one.
Yeah. Um,
Sorry if I don't remember. You've been hanging out for a
that's all
while.
right. That was an early drawing. Maybe the second time I drew him, second or third time I drew him, I gave
Oh
him the
wow.
shield. But you got to have like a spy, an espionage guy, and I just went with the term morph right now, morph, where he's kind of like the chameleon is with Spider-Man, where he can
Wasn't there
change his appearance.
wasn't there more than X-Men for a little while too, like on
There,
cartoons?
morph is one of those generic terms. Anybody can use it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not like you don't have to worry about copyright
Right.
shit with that one.
And then you remember the sirens that sort of it beguiled Navy men and then had them led them to the rocks to wreck their ship. She was kind of like the seductress of the sea.
Yeah, like that's the
Mhm.
ancient tales of the mermaids. Yeah,
They would sing a song that would be sort of hypnotic,
it was
and it's
irresistible, and sailors would
irresistible,
throw themselves
raw, and
off
that's
the
what
ship.
this character is. Um,
Yeah, she's a siren.
and then sort of an illusionist, one called Mirage.
Okay. Now is that
Almost
gonna
like
be male or female?
almost like mastermind, of the Hellfire Club,
Oh, okay.
illusionist.
I was thinking more. What's his name from Spider Man with the big bubble head? Mysterio.
Mysterio.
I was thinking more along those lines. But okay, I got you.
Well, he's kind of an illusionist, a trickster too, with effects and other
Yeah,
things.
totally.
Yeah.
He's like 90% magician and like hardly any superpowers whatsoever.
Now, there's something called the Collective, and I will not tell you anything more than that. That has
Oh
to
my
do with
god.
the 43. And then I've got to work like a prototype into some kind of character, and there's one called Beacon. He's kind of like a living compass, a navigator, Beacon. Maybe light like powers. And I think that's about all of them now, that I've got, that I'm developing and stuff. But I was thinking about, okay, what kind of powers? Some of them play into the jargon of the day, kind of like Victory and Panzer and Blitzkrieg, of course. But yeah, it's going to be cool. Viro is going to kind of infect people, and I think kind of like mummify them, and then necrosis, he'll bring them back to life. So they kind of team up to make an army, So he can kind of resurrect people as well as kill them.
Oh, lovely.
Too many time traveling stories, Apex says. Yeah, techno guy. Yeah, Quilt
It's only
Master,
43. You can never have too many.
Necro Man. Yeah. Well, I try not to use the term man. I do have man, like inner man. I do
Okay,
have a few characters called man, but
You have heard of the term necromancy, right? Necromancer, and
Yes.
bringing back the dead and using them for your own intent. You know, whether it's to get information or turn them into a zombie. Or
Right.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm just
And
making sure.
I have these 4x6 index cards that
Mhm.
I purchased bags full of these things in the 4x6s. And what I'm doing is like Panzer, Beacon, and I'm putting their name more, shape shifting spy, blockade, Blitzkrieg, Speedster, different Experiment 43 or Euphoria. I might get a title like Shattered Dreams is probably going to be
Oh,
the title of the Euphoria
nice.
story,
Right.
which
Now,
I will be drawing.
Homer has a really good idea in the chat. Check that out.
Rex, you have to have one of the 43 that can travel through time to gather them all up for an ultimate battle against all the good guys. If you go to time travel, I think it's a little bit powerful. And if they could time travel, Homer, they could go back and make the Third Reich a reality.
Yeah, this is true too. Yeah. Oh, I think. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought
You
about
gotta
it.
think that shit through. Yeah.
You got to think it through. Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless,
that could go really south on you really fast.
yeah, I mean, then you really have, and then I have to do 43 good guys just to fight out the bad guys, because they're pretty powerful if you group them all together. That's the thing about it. They're scattered if they ever did
Mm-hmm.
group back together. And there will be a time where they do eventually find out about each other and whatnot. And, you know, and I might create a disposable character that just kind of like burns himself out. You know what I'm saying? He's gone. He kind of appears, creates havoc, is sort of like
Right.
the villain of the week, and then dies off, just for
Well,
dramatic
I mean,
purpose.
wait a minute.
They are the villains. They are the villains.
Yeah,
And if they
yeah,
could
Eric.
time
I don't
travel,
remember what that guy's name was.
if
The
they could
crystal
time
guy.
travel, they could go back and help Hitler. And we don't want that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, see, that's the problem with time paradoxes. It's like no matter how you resolve it, like somebody can
Mhm.
always slip back into time and change it. Right. So, yeah, it gets into a whole big mess.
Yeah,
Time travel.
Martinek was his name. Yeah, the crystal guy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm also looking at the
Martin X? Okay.
uh
I don't
they're
remember
not
them
only the
at
powers,
all.
but what are they going to look like as a total group? What, and I want them to look cool. And I always thought the crystal flat faceted, and again, that's
Well, see,
different
the
than
other thing too, Rex, and not trying to cut you off the path or anything, but to make the 43 easier to manage, like you create them all, right? We're introduced to them all, but a lot of them are not characters that are going to live very long, right? They like burn very brightly, and then they so that
no,
you
that's what I
can
was saying. I
like
could make one or two of them disposable, but for the most part, no, they're going to be around. Some of them are around 250
really
years in the
okay.
future. That's where we're going to introduce Stone to you. Now, what's cool is he will not look like the Stone I designed. I will design a future version of him. One thing I was telling Elsie the other day is he's going to have like, Elsie's got this long goatee. He's going to have like a Stone goatee because after 250 years away, well, even longer than that, then away from the World War II, he's kind of let his hair down. You know what I mean? He's kind of changed his looks, and uh, looks a little different. I want the characters to look a little bit different. Like Storm Rider is going to be an old man, a very old man. Why did he live to be over 250 years old? Because he's supercharged lightning character. A lot of energy to burn off, But at this time, he's kind of in a floating wheelchair, kind of like Professor X. There for a
Yeah,
while.
I see.
And like Cortex, I think I mentioned, he's been made into a living weapon where he's got these implants in his brain. And so does Storm Rider for longevity. Of course, medicine has improved, and he's kind of hooked up through the chair. You know, he's still a hero, but he's on his way out. He's on his last leg. He's an old man by this time. You know.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is been creating some of the 43, and now sort of the roster. I still want Stone. Stone's a good guy to just pick up a car and trash it. You know,
Yeah.
he's
You get like a Thing or a Hulk type character,
right. Go on a rampage. Yeah.
A big strong guy, come in there and just like tear shit up.
Yeah, and like the teleporter guy, the techno type guy, he's got to go along because he's got to get them there. If that's how they arrived in the city, they could have arrived just anyway, But they come into this city and start trashing it, and it's got like a twist. It's got like a double twist ending, and it's 250 years in the future. I'm introducing you to the future versions of these characters, and it is canon within the Momentum universe, but it's almost treated like a what if story. How do you imagine? Yeah. Read the chat. We are giving you gold. Okay. Sure. Okay.
I love it.
Bismarck. That's a good name, Bismarck. Yeah. I think the original Guardians of the Galaxy had a limited edition miniseries in 2012. That I can't remember that. Bismarck, the jelly-filled donut lady. She squirts raspberry jelly. See, are we stopping the show to read that? It may be gold to you, but that doesn't do anything for me.
I didn't see
maybe you could limit the bad guys to not mess with the history because it changes things, because every time he goes back it makes things worse for him trying to help the Nazis. Yeah, I just didn't want to deal with the time travel. It's already got the time travel element in it, and I think but there will be a character or two that toward the end of the war, or maybe even before the war ends, they do reappear, but by then it's too late to really start the project up again, and he does try and help the Nazi, or she, whoever it is. I do want some of them to kind of appear.
I'll be right. Hey, you're gonna have to drop the link again, right?
Okay. Yeah, Baron Steel. Yeah, I've got a drawing of Baron Steel, a couple of them actually. Let's see. Somebody will probably receive. Let's see. Let's just do it this way. So here's one that I've got to do and I really want to get the energy right. It'll be kind of like a Kirby Crackle type wildfire energy within the cloak. That's one of the 43. I've been doing alien races too, like the Scorn. So there's a few alien races too that'll be popping up. Monday, tomorrow, I will be picking up another 100 of these to work on and to send out to other artists to work on. Finished Storm Rider. First time he's been colored and put in color. But he's and there's Viro. Here's the original piece right there. And there's this cosmic guy here, Proton. I'm just calling him Proton. And there's like a cat-like athletic lady. This is Euphoria here. These two guys I don't know about. I was like, there's Stone. There's Viro. There's one called I was the dream, maybe a dreamer. This character here, female character, and her powers have to do with sort of the subconscious and your dreams. There's Blood Sword. This is like a fire witch type where she controls fire. So, and I don't know. This guy's kind of athletic. This guy's kind of battle hardened. I don't know. It's I may not work all these into the 43. I think that's kind of a weak character. These here, even the Fire Witch, because I already have Cinder. But now I might work her in. There's still options. But I'll definitely work Proton in, which is pretty cool character. And probably Dreamer here or the Wanderer. I think of calling her Dreamer. Here's Alien Bog. I'm doing a Bog subset of characters. Smolder. This is the character that haven't settled on a final design, but this is closer to what I want for Smolder. I'm sorry if it's not focusing. It doesn't want to focus. There's so much going on in this card that it doesn't want to ever focus on that card. There's Throwback. Whoop, wait a minute. It's Crocbog. Throwback. He's going to be in a Midnight Story. He's going to have sort of like hypnotic. There's one character, and I won't tell you who has. Well, it's actually Baron Steel that you're asking about. And let me drop the link before I forget again. Oh God, the constant bog hog. Yeah. Well, it is 10 years, of drawing the character. Pretty dope character. Yeah. There's Collider, and he just started out as like a sketch card. Let's see here. And there's Funko Bog. Had to do Funko Bog. I'm doing a bog subset with different types of bog. There'll be 10 of those. There'll be actually 11 because, I want to do one of each character, but Bog gets an extra 10 cards because it's 10 years for him. There's Ghost. He's a new character. Kind of like the Vision. He can kind of go through walls and stuff like that. And pretty. She's got like the mind of a girl. And Omer was asking me about what's with the blank faces. Well, it's almost like a metaphor for their personalities have been stripped away from them, in a way, and something else sort of supplemented there. There's Equilibrium. He's kind of different looking. He's based on a character from the Shi'ar, the X-Men days. Blood Sword. See you back there just a minute, buddy. Chat be hopping today. Chat be hopping today, Shadowhawk.
Yeah, hell yeah, I see that. We got an active chat. That's always a good thing. I love it.
Yeah, and then you got to kind of have a techno type person too.
Well, dude, what I normally do is I put the comments on, and then I'll talk with you until you're showing me something, and then I'll take the comments off so I can see whatever you're showing me. But
there's
that way I
Baron
can
Steel right there. Is
what's
that in
going
focus?
on in the chat.
Is that in focus? Eric and Boyd wanted to see Baron Steel.
Yeah, not. It's not perfect, but it's not terrible. Wait, Jesus. Okay, stop. That's good. Don't move. Okay, you got it, Eric. You moved, fucker. You're fine. It came through good enough. I'm sure Eric's seen it well enough.
Yeah. And if I can get the face, I can extrapolate the rest. I gave him a collar kind of like Dead Man's, collar. Yeah, I mean, I was
yeah, Winter Buffalo, you're awesome. Hey, Eric, you have a great night, buddy. Love you.
yeah, Eric. But I mean, there's other characters that I'm creating, from like I did a couple of them from paintings. This character had this is one of my attempts to kind of do a thing like character. And I really did something different with the coloring on him on this, from the, deviated from the painting. I really like Impact. That's going to be a cool character. Um, just some of the characters like Nebulous that are more cosmic type characters are, just creating, putting them into the set. I've really enjoyed just revisiting a lot of these characters. But yeah, I'm going to kind of tell a story about Euphoria. Euphoria is I'm going to start with her, and I just like the possibilities of this character, and I think it's something that I can really trip out, almost like Trencher. The artwork was all over the place. Um, there's Stone.
Wait a
I got
minute.
to finish this.
Didn't you just get done saying you hated Trencher? You didn't like when Keith Giffen did that
I
art
did,
style
and I won't
whatsoever?
exactly do that, but you see where her like smoke or vapor
No,
goes everywhere. It's going to be a
I
trip,
got you.
That's
I
what
got
that's the best thing I can do is like it's a trippy thing,
Mhm.
That's the best I can, uh some of
And
these
I think that's
characters
the
like Siphon, he wasn't going to be initially one of the 43, but I rolled him in to being one of the 43 because he's kind of got that power set and that look different from all the rest,
yeah. He's got a really cool look, dude. I like that guy.
And the Dr. K, of course. But there's going to
Well, good
be
night, Cinco. Have a good one, buddy.
that's the good thing in this, like Hell Rider and different characters. I've created names for them. Uh, there's Meltdown. I have officially named this character now. And if you remember, he started on a pizza round. This is only the second time
Yeah,
I've drawn this character.
yeah. That's
So
a cool one. I like that.
we'll put his name on here, Meltdown. And there is a Meltdown character, but that is a term that you can use,
Yeah, I don't think you can copyright that one.
No.
I mean, yeah. It's
And
kind of
Garcia Lopez had sort of like a Vietnam War pair, limited series called Cinder and Ash, and that's probably where his name comes from, Cinder. Return to Cinder. No need to reinvent the wheel every time with the names,
No,
Twisted Man.
Not if they're basically, public domain. You don't have to worry about, infringing on anyone.
Well, from my first X-Men story, Morgan, or what was her name? Professor X's, they had a child and it was Proteus. Or what is
Myra McTaggart.
Yeah, and their child bent reality.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of the concept behind the Twisted Man.
I'm trying to remember what his name was. I think it was Proteus.
Proteus, yeah. And he would kind of bend and twist reality, and that's kind of like what this Rorschach-looking character does, is he's kind of, that's exactly where I took that from, him bending and shaping reality and stuff, and then, of course, there's Kirby Crackle Zeitgeist, which you look up Zeitgeist, it's like the spirit, he's kind of like the embodiment or the spirit of Germany. That's the way he kind of looks at himself,
Well, right. Yeah. Zeitgeist has come to as a term, just mean like the spirit or embodiment of a movement at any given time.
And the new Ghost character, he would be in German Geist, just Geist,
Mhm. Yeah,
Ghost. Yeah. And that's a generic term,
kind of
but
cool.
yeah. I mean, there's some generic terminology. You can, like wizard, I can create a wizard.
Oh, sure.
Marvel or enchantress. DC and Marvel have enchantresses.
Yeah,
There's
because
no need to reinvent the wheel, you know.
yeah, exactly.
Just make them interesting characters, you know, a different bent on one.
Right,
Maybe
you have to do your own version of you know what that character's going to be, make it interesting. You
mhm.
know, if you can do that, then you're in business. If you're just doing a generic ripoff, then it's kind of a waste of time.
Well, in Momentum Unleashed, I've said it before, I'll say it again. In Momentum Unleashed, which will be coming soon, and I'm working on it now, along with Devil Flyer Zero and the Midnight Story and the Tenants, and I've got multiple stories that I'm developing at different speeds. But today is probably the most work that I've done, and actually, it started with making out, well, how many characters do I have? And of course, the sketch cards have kind of helped that, and even the head sketches that I did. Because I created new characters then. Aftershock, some of the
Hmm.
characters like this one that I'm calling Hive right now, I created back in 2012. Um, oh, here's the other steel guy. I didn't have a name for him. There we go, metal guy.
The metal guy. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so he's got an armor, and and as well as Baron Steel, he's got an armor too. His is more like and
I think Metallo has been done, right? I think that's been done.
Metallo.
Wasn't that a character back in the day, Metallo? I
Wasn't
seem to remember
Metallo
that.
Superman's kryptonite? Had kryptonite heart. Metallo. That was Metallo.
No, that was uh, the guy that's got all the crystals and everything growing out of his body. That wasn't Metallo. That was Metamorpho.
Metamorpho. He's a good guy. Yeah.
Right, but didn't he have the kryptonite heart, or was it the other guy you're
No,
talking
that
about?
was Metalloy or
Is that okay? Metallo. Okay, that's where I
Metallo
go.
or whatever. Yeah.
Apparently, I remember it from Superman. I don't know. I just
Well,
remember the character.
in the most recent movie, Metamorpho is in that movie.
Oh yeah, I heard something about that.
Mm-hmm.
He like makes something. Does he do anything significant, or is he just like kind of there? Sorry.
That Zoid. um, Well, I'm just thinking like as a well-rounded team, whether they ever get together, in one place at one time, which would be disastrous because they are quite a powerful team and there are a lot of them, They're kind of like a little mini army, super army. Um, but that's the great thing, they can be the villain of the month. They're scattered throughout time and they encounter like Stone. I've always thought Stone is going to appear in the 1950s and go up against Silver Boa. How does a guy with a couple of 1911s defeat this superpowered Stone guy? Basically the thing. Now, what I was going to say about him, that the guy from the Hellfire Club that could make things heavy. Well, Stone
Mm-hmm.
can control gravity a little bit for a limited amount of time. He can make things heavier or lighter.
It was what was it? Leland Grant, I think his name was. I still can't remember what his code name was. Is anybody Apex? You gotta remember the Hellfire Club too. The one that like basically killed himself with Wolverine by increasing his mass as Wolverine's jumping on him. That's the fucking stupidest thing I've ever seen. It's awesome
Was
though.
that
John Byrne.
actually the end of that character?
Yeah, dude, he fucking killed that motherfucker. He fucking shot through him like a fucking bullet through a beer can.
Okay. It's been a while since I've wrote, but now,
he destroyed that fat fuck.
my plans for introducing some of these characters like Stone and Euphoria will be one of those. And like I said, some of them are definitely inspired. Blood Sword is inspired by Vector and Colossus. Euphoria's, I think her name was Vesper, maybe. I don't know. But from the UFOs. And then there was X-Ray. They were supposed to be like a villainous looking Fantastic Four with the Fantastic Four's, cosmic ray origin went wrong. Ironclad, of course, was the thing, but it was made out of metal. And I always liked the UFOs. I still do. So some of those characters are, on this original, piece here where I kind of came up with the 43 bad guys. And the great thing about this is I needed more women and I needed more villains. So I can have a lot of villainous women, characters. And
women are always evil.
And up in the title, I've got something I'm calling new creation cards, right? So basically that's like this one. This would be considered a new creation card or something, but I'll actually do a future set of new characters that I create and will actually put on their new creation card, that it's a new creation. That way you'll know it's an original new creation. And some of these have been like Ghost and Pretty. This is the first time I've drawn them on these cards. So, they're basically prototypes of something that's been running in my head with the new creation cards. I just put a name with it. So that's what that's all about. But, I think I've got a good villainous looking, team. And like I say, there's something else called the Collective, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But there's a lot more characters coming. Updates on sketch cards, seeing new art I really enjoy. What's the latest update on the book itself? Can't wait to unbox that bad boy. Well, okay. Well, we've got the new cards printed up. I've got another 100 to pick up tomorrow at the printers. They were actually done Friday, and I didn't see it till Saturday in my Gmail. And so I will be giving her. I will have to get with. And I guess I could probably send a file myself. I'm trying to learn this stuff. Hey, Edwin in the house. Baron Steel has the John Byrne mouth. Yeah, or Jack Kirby. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, Air Fire can be ordered on Kevin Davis's website. He's sending book 2 to the printers. Cool. Right now, like I said, I'm working on the story pages for books. I'm still waiting on 2-page Devil Flyer, 2-page Devil Flyer page where I've told you a little bit of the layout. There's part of it that I don't want to tell you about because I can't spoil the whole book for you, right? And I don't know what's going on with John Dillard. He's working on something else or kind of incognito right now. He wanted to talk to me at the end of September. I'm sure that once he gets to it, he'll have it whipped out in a couple of days. But yeah, I'm still working on that. Yeah, I'm going to give spoilers, but I don't want to give too much away or it won't be that enjoyable, when you get it. I've worked out a 2-page layout. Whether I use it or not, I definitely will use it in some capacity or future book. I'm trying to give you in this latest story a glimpse into the Momentum Universe future and really solidify that it's not just about the characters that are in the story, but all these other characters that are going to be coming in the future. It's almost like a preview section, That was kind of like the 2-page drawn in tier with Midnight. I wanted to show you that I have a Western character and I'll be doing stuff with her, um, almost like an ad, but good excuse because it was a drawn in tier, right? Did you get your message to Fanta? Hope she's doing better. Yeah. Tanya sent it to Harley, I think, one of the boys or something. Yeah, I'm sure she's probably watched the episode by now, hopefully. Yeah, I didn't get in, and I knew it was going to be late, but I had to work that night and barely was going to record something with Shadowhawk. Something happened. I don't know. He recorded his own. He did get in there.
I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, I fell asleep.
He fell asleep. That's what it was.
I was waiting for 8 o'clock and I passed out, dude. I didn't wake up until like 9:30, and I saw you.
And then my brain fart. I said tomorrow will be her birthday. We'll just dedicate the whole 4 o'clock shadow and do a whole show in her honor. And I'll send that to her. Well, it was too late to get in her video cut thing. So, which is fine. That's not, that's not the reason I did it. Was for him to have a video about it. It was just to get it to Fanta to let her know we think about her and love her and.
Oh, I love Fanta. I miss her.
It's good that Hen did that and kind of put that together.
She was doing such great reviews, even with all of her vision issues and everything else. She was a ray of sunshine every week, man. I miss her. I really do.
Hell Rider is public domain. Apex, just to let you know, I don't know if you heard about that, because of the way that it was submitted originally. That character immediately became public domain upon publication. If you don't, if you don't copyright your stuff properly, it becomes public domain at printing. So you really have to do certain steps with the name and the book, and your logos and stuff like that. And Hell Rider, kind of like a Storm Rider, and Pale Rider came up with this, that in the name it should be spelled with a Y, Rider. So that's the way I'm spelling Hell Rider, even to make it different from public domain, putting a Y instead of an I in Rider.
Yeah, and that way you might be able to copyright it as well. So if you can, you might as well.
Carrie says, have you thought about doing her a sketch card with a raised outlines, a Braille version of art? She can feel.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I've thought about some Braille stuff, some embossed.
Dude, if you use
she's gonna have to learn Braille for one thing.
Use one of those thick gel pens,
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, I'm gonna do her Dark Angel character. I've already got one of the original 100 cards designated for her Dark Angel character. Yeah, and I'm gonna do my own version of Dark Angel.
Everyone send your thoughts and prayers to Fanta.
Your daughter is good at drawing, Shadowhawk. Maybe they could do Jack Skellington's face with gems around eyes, mouth, face. The way she could feel who it is, and it isn't reliant on her sons.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. All right, I will talk to my daughter about it. I can't guarantee that's something she's gonna want to do, but if she does, I will definitely try to talk her into it.
My daughter's pregnant again. I think I said that the other day. I'm going to be a grandfather again.
Yeah, you're going to be a grandpa.
Yeah, I've been a grandpa since the 90s, so it's no big deal for me, really.
Yeah, I've been a grandpa since, well, not the 90s.
Been an uncle forever,
Dude, I was an uncle that got babysat by my nieces.
I've got some Jack Skellington stuff that I'm going to send her, Carrie, here in a couple of weeks. I just have to get in. I did not get my check Saturday. I've been getting a paper check all this time, which is pretty cool because it's got the breakdown. But Whereas people are getting direct deposit their money Thursday of every week, I'm getting to cash mine in on a Monday. So I have to wait,
Did you see?
four more days to get paid.
I didn't look too close.
Momentum Unleashed on FOMO Comic in 2027. It's going to be 2026. I hope, Apex. My next thing's going to
be. I got caught when I opened the jar.
My next thing is going to be the unseen artwork of John Buscema, but yeah, hopefully Momentum Unleashed and Devil Flyer Zero, 2 books, and I've got at least 4 stories. There's going to be a Shadow's Kiss story. She's sort of like the Ninja Whisper type character, with swords.
You leave my kisses out in this.
Yeah. And so there's a story told in the recent future with her. She's actually in Italy. And there's another character that I'm considering for the 43. It's a character, if he touches you, he disintegrates you. He's sort of a disintegrator type character. And I thought about using that in the Shadow Kiss story at the end of the story, and then there's the story that takes place, basically the battle royale of some of the 43 characters and some of the other characters like Bystander and Bog, and but now these are future versions of these characters. This is kind of my old man Bog. He looks old. His beard's longer. He just looks like he's balding. It's wild. Just a different way of drawing him, where he kind of looks sad and old. Why 43? It's not a special number, no. It's just something that kind of stuck my head, like an arbitrary number. 43 would be enough, and I might even set the story in 1943 just for synchronicity sake,
And Carrie, just so you know, 42 is the answer to life, the meaning, and everything in the universe. You just got to find the right question.
Metalloy, I guess.
Metallo.
You're right, Metallo. And if it was John Fernandez here, John Fernandez is who drew Devil Flyer. He's a big Superman fan. He's got all the Superman books from the 1960s. He's working on the 1950s now. And he's got a pretty good selection, about 10 of them, don't let he's projecting, he's going, if I mention something and he's like, okay, coming in 2027. No, hopefully it'll be in 2026 where I can do, after the Buscema book, I can do do 2 books, which is going to be Devil Flyer Zero, kind of keep him alive, and we'll go on with the other stories. There'll be new features, new stories, backup stories. Some of them will remain the same. Some of these are going to be rolled into the main story, eventually. They're all going to be rolled into the Devil Flyer, where it just becomes one big story and they all kind of know each other. And let's see, I got to write this down before I forget.
What was his name though? Didn't he have a code name?
Hardhat.
And I'll be Mrs. Sorry, Rosie, though, you're cracking me up. The peanut gallery over here.
Yes, I'm on a show tonight, LZ. I'll be over on Omer's show. You can come over there to Omer's show, and maybe he'll drop you a link.
Only if Omer lets you come on after this disaster. Oh. My God.
I'm trying my best to make it a good show, but it's kind of
You know,
janky.
I'm just playing with you, man.
I
God
know you
damn.
are. I know you are.
Apparently, yes. You better get your ass home soon. Sorry.
Leland was the heavy guy in Hellfire Club. Apex says Leland.
Yeah, I know that Leland something or another, but everybody had a code name. Like the one guy was something or another. He was mastermind. The other guy he could absorb the kinetic energy. He was like the king of the Hellfire Club.
Yeah, that's Sean.
Emma
That's
Frost.
right.
Shaw. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
kind of borrowed
Emma,
that for
Emma
Impact.
Frost. Right, Emma Frost was the White Queen. So they all had their little names. With the fat boy that had the gravity powers, he had a fucking name. I just don't remember what it was.
Well, give me a second, and y'all go by so quick with some of this stuff. It's like I can't answer, do this and stay on track and whatnot.
I,
You think I'm
I
manic?
thought
This is
Apex
like,
would have. I thought Apex would have come up with it for me, but he just came up with Leland, which I knew that much.
yeah. I don't know. He must be on delay. He's talking about some things that we talked about. He must be taking notes because he's talking to collective, new
Yeah,
creation cards, all kind of stuff.
it looks like he's about like 20, 30 minutes behind on
I
the
don't
chat.
know, but he repeats stuff. I don't know why he does that, but he does. Maybe he's excited about it. But yeah, some of these characters are, I've given them some thought and some names like Panzer. They'll be cool to design, and I want to do a show where I design new characters. So now I kind of have a directive or a direction to do that. Oh, there's one I need to put down that's a secret character that I forgot about. And you know the character already. You've seen him, but I'm not going to tell you he's one of them. Spoilers. Yeah. Okay. So now I only have one, but now some of these are kind of like really not developed, like Mirage. What's Mirage going to look like? It's just like, okay, I got the power.
She's
Now
just
I
gonna
need to
look like
design a character.
she's
Or
just gonna look like
Morph.
heat lines
What is
coming off the
Morph?
page.
What's Morph going to look like?
You know when you're driving in the summertime, right? And you're looking down a flat highway and you see like
Oh,
it
the
looks
heat
like a
waves.
puddle of water.
The heat
Yeah,
waves. Yeah.
the heat mirages. Yeah, that's what mirage is gonna look like.
Right. If you're out in the desert and you see these palm trees and water where there is none.
Yeah. He starts swimming around in the sand and drinking.
And all these Homer Glitch babies around the water, drinking Mai Tais.
The cutest thing I've seen lately was the fucking meme of the little baby Ripa. It's like a newborn baby, but he's got a full beard and he's got shoulder hair and arm hair and everything. It's like the funniest shit I've seen in a month. I was laughing my ass up.
Well, you're gonna get, hopefully in 2026 you're gonna get introduced to all some of these characters. It's gonna be hard to introduce, and I don't want them introduced all in one, but at one time. But there will be a small group of them in the story that takes place in a city in 2000 where they go on a rampage, and they're being directed by some sinister force. They're not there.
Dr. K. Dun, dun, dun.
No, Dr. K's not one of them. No. But
no, damn it. I was hoping I could spoil. Dr. K turns out to be
Dr. K will definitely be in the flashback. See, that's why I'm wanting to get to Euphoria story, because Dr. K will probably be in that. And that'll be a story drawn by me.
This is how we bring Perry into the Momentum universe. Dr. K is Carrie's great-great-grandpa.
Well, you know, there
She
is a
got
generational
she
thing.
lost.
Like there is a generational thing. Like with Sweet Baby, she's over the Yakuza in the 1940s, right? The 30s and 40s.
Right.
So that's sort of the era that she lives, along with Silver Boa, the original Silver Boa, and Lady of the Night, and characters like that, and the Skull Squad, which you haven't seen yet. You've seen one of them, which is Sand Devil,
Yeah.
the skull-like character that has like the
Yeah.
Sandman character,
I actually
Sandman
drew a
powers.
sketch of them for you, Rex. Do you remember? No, you don't remember
What
that.
now?
I said I drew a sketch of Sand Devil for you.
Yes, you did.
One of the few things I've shown on air. I don't draw much.
But these characters will be in two stories in the same book, because the Old Lady Midnight story, which is set in the past, but it's the character's future, you know. So Throwback will be the character in that story, and then there'll be a small group of the ones going on a rampage in the story that's set 250 years in the future. And then you got Shadow's Kiss, which is kind of like my Whispered Ninja type character, or Kill Bill type character, if you will. Badass with a sword. That's a story that's set in the recent future. I mean, the near future, very near future, you know.
Okay.
And let's see, that's 3 stories. There was
2
a
weeks
4th that
later.
had. Yeah, I mean, there's a story, and this is going to relate. And when you go, you're going to read some of these stories out of context, right?
Yeah, Rex doesn't catch these jokes.
You're going to read a story about Shadow's Kiss. This is going to be her first appearance in a comic book. And because that's one thing you always get with my comic books is you get first appearances of characters or first appearances of something, you know, like the Baxter Building or the Pogo Plane or the Pogo Rocket or whatever it's called. You know, you'll get the first appearance of something in every issue. That's what makes it valuable. The first appearances of stuff. That's what makes comic books. It's like rookie cards and trading cards, you know. And so in every issue, there will be something. In Devil Fire, there will be dozens of new characters introduced. Dozens for the very first time. Some of them will only get cameo status, but it'll be their first cameo appearance, you know. Maybe not their first full appearance, but that's coming with subsequent stories.
I want to see ruthless, bloody death.
Oh, you will see that. I mean, I think this is kind of like to show this very bloody Dr. K character and other characters. You're going to see some momentum horror. I can't maybe.
Well, good. Yeah. After previewing that Dr. K that Ryan did for you, I mean, you're gonna have to crank up the horror level a little bit. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, I'm going to.
You get that to yourself, man. You're gonna have to fucking jack it up a little bit.
I'm keeping the horror aspect of it sort of, like playing poker close to my breast as not to spoil it for people. Now, one thing I'm taking into account, because I was on Red Valkyrie and Sai's show one time, right, on a region, and they were talking about, they probably did an unboxing, and they were talking about that horror was a hard thing to depict in comics, and I do think because it's not scary. I want my horror stories to be scary.
Yeah, it's very difficult to do.
It's very difficult to do that, though.
You know, in a comic book, but there are comic books that have done it, and I've read them, and you got to do it at the page turn, and when you got to kind of make it like the page before it's got to be kind of a little bit dense, maybe a lot of talking or whatever, and building up. And then when you flip the page, it's a splash page of just a really good horror scene. I mean, and that's as close as you can do in a comic book to a jump scare, really. You know?
Yeah, it's or like shocking scenes, shocking artwork. I mean, look at old DC comics with the battings and the eye
Right,
trauma and stuff like that.
that's what I'm saying, but that's how they used to do it though. They would build it up on that page before and then you flip the page
It's
and you would
suspense,
have
yeah.
like yeah. Kinda
Yeah.
like when I was going to Graham's Alien Alamo the other day. The first couple panels are like the one guy's like, ooh, let's get some butter and fry these crabs up. And the little fucker turns around and squirts acid in his face. And that third panel, when you reveal it, you know, the dude's got a apple face, his eyeballs dripping out, he's got fucking blood and saliva just like falling out of his mouth everywhere.
Again, that's kind of grotesque, and that's maybe the best you can hope for in some cases, but it's not really scary. Maybe as a kid it was for some of those kids back in the 50s.
Okay, I mean, I guess I appreciate scary movies in a different way than you do. Nothing's gonna scare me anymore.
Well, I mean, to me, the way the way I would approach it is sort of like with Dr. K and the saws and the scalpels and things that brought body trauma. You know, that's kind of scary to some. That's kind of scary to some people, like a chainsaw and Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, well, then I just won't do for it. You know, you're leaving me no options. You're not giving me an inch.
No, I'm just, bro. I'm just saying that. Like,
I send you an eviction notice. You got to get out in a month. You're gonna get scared.
If you're doing chainsaw grindhouse type stuff. It's that you know you go
Grindhouse,
all the Italian jiggly or whatever they fucking called it back in the day. But
you know,
but
they will.
It's just gross out over the top to be over the top, and I loved it back in the day because it was all physical effects. People were figuring out how to do it, you know, and make it look real. Now nothing is real. It's all CGI. It's all fucking AI. It's all whatever. You know, some kind of special magic movie effects. There's very little practical effects anymore.
Right.
So it's just not as fun. That's all.
Right. And it doesn't look as real unless it's done practical and digital.
You look at and we go back to the big two, right, of all time, the American Werewolf in London and The Howling.
Mm-hmm.
Both came out the same year. I prefer The Howling. I love the transformation scene in that one over American Werewolf. Plenty of other people prefer it the other way. But they were both solid fucking werewolf movies. And they were fucking amazing. And we don't get that shit anymore.
I get it, X. Kind of like Fembat versus Devil Flyer. I don't know when that's going to happen, but you know we'll have to put our heads together and make it happen. Howling Rex, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, Halloween. You know, shooting that type of stuff would be great to release around Halloween, or to fulfill around Halloween. Actually, would be people actually get it in their hands. Yeah, hopefully with this John Buscema book, we'll do well with it, and we'll be able to do more things at that point, you know. And I am planning 2 books, like I said, Momentum Unleashed, Future Visions, where all the stories are told in the future, not necessarily our future, but the future of the characters in some instances. I have worked out a Lady Midnight story in there. There'll be Shadow's Kiss story. There'll be that one set in 250 years in the future. That's the baddies of that are going to be the 43. Throwback is going to be the baddie within And we might make all the stories. I wanted to do that Silver Boa story too, that 10-page Silver Boa story, Golden Age Silver Boa, the death of Silver Boa. So there's the fourth story. We might even be able to fit a fifth story in there. I don't know. I'm not going to go beyond 4 stories right now in my thinking. I'll be thinking about it, but we'll just have to see how big it is. You know, maybe if it's 48 pages, going to be 48 pages. I don't know. We may even make it a square bound this time, you know, make it a little larger and make it square bound, but we'll see. But
Yeah,
things are
I
coming up.
can't remember his code name either, dude. I wish I could. It's like
Code name for, I can't remember his name either, but I
or
borrowed from that.
the gravity guy. Fuck is his name?
You,
I'm
it's going to
obsessed
drive
now.
him nuts till he goes back and
Yeah,
figures it out.
dude, it'll be
Google
like
it.
10:30 tonight. I'll wake up and be like, fucking, that's what it was. It's like
You can
lavatory or
look at the
something.
issue on eBay, and it would probably say first, and with a graded one, first appearance of blah 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 blah. You
I
know,
don't
because they
know.
were
I
all
don't know that it would be.
Sebastian Shaw. Sebastian
No,
Shaw was no.
Sebastian
I
Shaw was
know.
the
See,
Black
you say
King.
no. You're not hearing me out. Sebastian Shaw
Okay.
was the leader of the group. He was the one with kinetic
Yeah.
energy that you were trying to think of his name as well. And I kind of borrowed that for Impact. Impact as a character gets hit or hits something and he converts it into the kinetic energy and gives it out again.
Yeah,
Kind of like Sebastian
talked
Shaw.
about this. Yeah, we talked about this the other night.
Yeah. Well, I want to reiterate it a few times so that it kind of
Oh,
gets
okay.
in
Well,
people's
no,
minds.
I completely agree with you, and it's a cool power. You know,
It is a cool power. And that's why I'm saying I kind of borrowed from the fat guy too, because Stone can lift up heavy objects. He's very strong, but he can also put his little mojo and make it a little bit lighter for him to lift up, so he can subsequently lift heavier things by making it lighter than he normally couldn't lift.
I mean, that's fairly powerful, bro. You're talking about manipulating things at like molecular level,
like gravity. Yeah. And he can he can slow characters down by making them heavy. He can do both.
Yeah, see, that was what fucking that the fat boy in the Hellfire Club tried to do to fucking Wolverine. But Wolverine fought through it and then jumped off this balcony. And because the guy was already like using his power and he didn't know what else to do, he just like kept increasing Wolverine's density. So when Wolverine hit him, he drove him all the way to the floor, like into the sub basement and into the sewers.
Yeah, yeah.
He fucking demolished that dude.
Well, you know that other guy that had the cybernetic arms, he really did a number on him too.
Mm-hmm.
The little dainty looking guy.
Yeah, he pretty much fucked him up too. But yeah, that was, dude. That was when that scene was like when I first started collecting X-Men. You know, I had gotten some from buying out a collection of my a buddy's older brother. And I was catching up on old X-Men, the 120s and whatever. When I actually started buying them was like right at the beginning of the Dark Phoenix saga, when the Hellfire Club came in.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell in love with Wolverine at that moment, dude, when he just drove that dude through like 3 stories of that fucking brownstone and all the way down.
And you have him that great sort of side turnaround at the end where he's like,
yeah, and he's like dripping sewage off of him and shit. He's all covered. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Back then he was. See, that's Wolverine suffers kind of like Deadpool and Harley Quinn and other characters. DC does it too. They overuse a character because they're popular. and
Yeah.
subsequently they get diluted, they get watered down. But in the early days, remember he would do the thing with the claws and do two here and threaten to do the third one up through their head. You know, he was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
badass.
Oh, dude.
And then everybody, he was in everything from Marvel Comics Presents, and you know,
Well,
and they
dude,
did.
even later on, dude, he actually killed a guy with just using the middle claw. So it wasn't just through your
Mhm.
head. He was also giving you the old fuck you. So that's pretty cool. But dude, see, that was one of the things too in the Hellfire Club story. They have Wolverine, they strip him naked. They think his claws are part of his costume, right? So they take all this shit off and they have him in
Mhm.
this cage that supposedly he can't break out of. And they don't know that his claws are like internal.
Well,
So he wakes up.
in the old days, the costume had these little things right there on his where they would come out, so you didn't know,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, it was kind of like keep it in disguise, because
Mhm.
I think Chris Claremont did that shit on purpose, dude, because he kept that secret for a long time
For a
before he
long
finally
time.
revealed
Either
it.
that or he came up
Yeah.
with it then and kind of retconned it. Kind of like the
Maybe,
Incredible
yeah.
Hulk.
He
When the
might
Hulk
have.
came out, he only turned into the Hulk at nighttime when the moon came up. But then Ditko
Mm-hmm.
retconned that and made it when he got angry. So you can go back and add stuff later, like that story point that I was telling you about, like Phantom Stranger. Phantom Stranger is one of DC's oldest characters. He goes way back to the 50s. And in that Trinity of Sin that came out in the 2000s, around 2010 or somewhere around in there, um, maybe a little later than that. Not that long ago, say 10 years ago, they made him Judas. That's total
Sorry.
retcon of that character. Or,
Carrie.
yeah, I know. I didn't want to highlight that, you know.
I'm
Whatever.
sorry, I just noticed that. Oh, Carrie.
I'm sorry.
And
I just
yes,
that too. I'm
Cyber
sorry. I
was
didn't notice.
dope in Marvel Comics Presents with the Wolverine series. Yeah, I liked Cyber. He was cool. Remember, he had the adamantium arms and shit. He was part of the Weapon X program. I don't know if
Mhm.
you remember that one or not. But yeah, from Marvel Comics Presents the Wolverine ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was, when he ran that bar and he had that eye patch, remember?
Oh yeah, yeah. He was actually called Patch for a while, and he
Yeah.
was
You
like,
know where
"Where
I
was
think where that all real started, where they took Wolverine and started exploiting him in different ways was really Frank Miller when he sent him to ninja school over in Japan.
Well, he fell in love with Mary.
I get it. And now she's Deathstrike, right? That's trying to kill him all the time.
No, that's Yukio. That's a different girl.
Oh, okay. But
She
now
was
she's the one with the adamantium nails, right? The claws.
right. Yeah, she got transformed by the Weapon X program later on. But
Hmm.
when Wolverine and her met, she was actually supposed to be like a bodyguard for Mariko, which was the girl that Wolverine was in love with, the daughter of the Asian crime boss or whatever. So this girl was a hired gun, but she ended up falling in love with Wolverine, and it was unrequited love and all that shit. So when she got a chance to upgrade herself and become like an adamantium warrior, she was
Yeah.
all pissed off that Wolverine chose Mariko
Oh yeah,
over
she had
her.
a hate on for him. Yeah. I
Yeah,
always
yeah.
wondered
And
though,
then she,
kind of like in real life, when people grow their nails out really long, how do you eat like that? How does she eat? Does she have somebody feed
oh
her?
dude,
Because you
yeah.
can't scratch yourself with those things.
You know what the worst question is, Rex? Do you know what the worst question?
How does she wipe?
When you Yeah, that's the scary part, my friend.
Right. I mean, she could do surgery on herself and not even know it by mistake. It's like, whoop, cut that out.
or they're just not doing a very good job of wiping. Just saying.
Ginkgo says Cyber. I remember Cyber too, especially from the Marvel Comics Presents books.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh,
MCP.
uh, who was the who did the Max? Sam Keith. Sam Keith did the artwork on Cyber on that, and he had like
Yeah.
little
He did
he
do.
he had like needles on the end of his fingers, like syringes.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like, well, yeah, like super skinny little claws.
And
Yeah,
he had
yeah,
like
like almost
armored
like.
skin. He had like armored
Hmm.
skin.
His
Yeah.
arms were like kind of like Colossus's. It wasn't his whole body. I think it was like his like from the shoulders to the arms, and then I think his like the thighs, the upper legs,
But
and
now
shit.
I
But
don't remember Cyber being able to steal people's consciousness.
oh, that was why. That's why he had the hypodermic thing.
Oh,
If
okay.
he could plug into you, he could like he could like
Oh,
take
yeah.
over your mind or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah, Sam Keith did a
that's
lot
why
of
he was
Wolverine and
such a.
Nightcrawler covers, and his Nightcrawler is off the chain.
Oh,
Sam
his
Keith
night crawlers.
Nightcrawler. He should have did a
Yeah.
limited series. He should have did a limited series. I guess that's the closest we'll ever come to that. Sam Keith Nightcrawler.
It's not like it was up to Sam, dude. That was up to Marvel. They should have fucking jumped on that.
Oh yeah. Oh definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't Sam's choice. I bet you he'd love to do a fucking like Nightcrawler limited series. That would have been fucking fun, bro.
I think you were gone, Shadowhawk, but in the original here, we had Proton, sort of a more cosmic like character.
Proton. No, yeah, you show me. That's the dude I was asking you about. The dude on the right.
This here, yeah.
Okay, that's the dude I was asking you about last night. Because you were telling me about the guy in the energy containment suit and what have you.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe you were talking about this guy, but it turned out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's, like Fire, this Fire chick. There's like
No, that's cool, dude.
Very physical cheetah character. Yeah.
I like that pick. Did you do that, Rex? Who did it?
The artist that won't be named did me blanks, and then I filled in the background and the characters.
Yeah, I remember when you had. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so those were all poses.
Yeah, you just had them fill in like outlines.
Yeah, and then that's how I created the 43. I just had blanks, and I was creating new characters,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided to make them all villains, and then I gave them this cosmic star background and stuff, and it turned out to be a pretty good piece, the good starter for the characters and stuff. I'll be doing some more stuff like that, but yeah, I'm just I'll work on some of that tonight on Omer's draw show. I want to do probably the sort of his face, the new character there that I don't have a name for yet. I want to do his face, or her face rather, in like watercolor, and make it more energy like, more like a wash, and then I'll go in and put the details over that and tighten it up, that's why I want to maybe draw this character a few more times, do a few more quick sketches to get the look down that I want for the face, you know, even though it's sort of like incorporeal, no form, you know, undulating, moving energy form, you know. I kind of like that. Like with the Twisted Man, his pattern within his outline, his body outline changes all the time. So it's different from
Hmm.
panel to panel. Same way with this character, he'll look different from panel to panel.
What was that? Sorry.
Sounded like some
Sound
kind of
like I had
animated
some,
character going off. Woohoo!
sound like
Well,
I had some
anyway,
gunshots going on over
a
here,
gunshot. You better
bro.
go outside and check it out. Somebody may be
No,
dead or
I'm not
dying.
going outside. No, hell no.
Hell no, he says.
Why? So I can get shot too? Fuck that shit. I'm gonna grab
Well,
my
you
gun
know,
first.
I told you this, and
What?
actually, I brought it
In
up on
Minecraft?
mom's 90th birthday. You know, I happened to show
In
up there
Minecraft?
after the show to to go see mom, and my brother and his wife and his children and their wives and children were there bringing a cake and stuff.
Chilling. Generation.
Generations, yes, of Christians. Um, anyway, I brought up that story. I said, yeah, when you lived, I sprayed your old house the other night off of Neely. And I said, remember that time when they had a drive-by shooting and the person pumped 4 rounds into your house?
Oh shit.
And I asked my brother's wife about that. I said, do you I said, I think it was because your neighbor was a state trooper because their houses
Coding.
looked the same and they just did a
Uh,
drive shooting, probably meant for the police officer. And that's when Alex, their oldest boy, was just a baby in the nursery. But they
oh
woke
fuck.
up the next day and they had like 3 hoses within the house going through the house.
Nobody got hurt?
Nobody got hurt. Yeah.
Oh my. Oh shit, bro. That's crazy.
Mhm. Yeah, it was crazy. So I kind of asked her about it. I kind of brought it up, you know, just being
And
conversational.
what did she have to say?
She thought that that was probably a pretty good theory, you know, that, yeah, they were probably aiming for his house and hit theirs instead. And she talked about waking up the next day because I don't even think they knew it happened. They were probably asleep at the time. And but
Right.
nobody was hurt. But yeah, that's when Alex was a baby, and their Grayson, the one that just got married last October a year ago, so they'll be celebrating or have just celebrated because I think their wedding was on the 11th of October, maybe yesterday. Um, Grayson was a premature baby. He was actually over at the Memphis hospital for a month and a half when he was born. He was born very tiny. But now I
Oh,
didn't get to meet him till he was 13 years old
that's
at
crazy,
Christmas time.
Rex. Is,
I know.
my uh, my grandson that I just discovered uh, about a year ago.
Oh,
Didn't even know he existed. He's like 6 or 7 now. His name is Grayson,
oh, yeah.
and
Well, I
his
got a new
dad is
grandbaby on the way. I
a
don't know what they're
Batman
going to
figure.
call it, but be interesting. I can't even remember her first son's name. Actually, he's only like 2 years old. So, but
Oh,
but I
it'll
know
be.
that
I'm so happy.
she had multiple miscarriages and they waited later in life, and then when they started trying to have a child, she couldn't. So I'm glad she finally got one. Now she's pregnant again. So pray for her. Pray for my sister who's going to come see me in November in a few weeks, and her health.
Very. Uh,
Hmm.
oh, uh, sorry, but Another grandkid update. My oldest daughter, 2 kids, who are
Mhm.
clothing on being adults themselves. They're teenagers now.
Uh-huh.
Uh, my grandson Nathan is playing multiple instruments. He has now decided he's going to be a drummer, and he's
Cool.
pretty fucking good. He's pretty damn good, dude. He's like been sending me videos and shit, and I'm like, yeah.
Hey,
And
Grandpa.
my little granddaughter is a singer, and she plays guitar, and she's doing like her own kind of thing. Like you were like Jewel and shit like that from back in the early '90s. She kind of got like that kind of feel to like the
Uh-huh.
stuff she's doing.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, like, kind of romantic, but yeah, fucking
The Shadowhawk
15-year-old
clan
girl.
is expanding, and so is the Christian clan. So here we go. The next
That's
generation
right.
of pyramid builders,
And they're god, very
musical
Christian.
pyramid builders. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to
I'm just
see
so
my.
happy because most of my kids like decided not to go into music. You know, it's
Mhm.
like my youngest daughter, she played in orchestra, but I did the same thing. I played orchestra all the way up until high school, and I said, "Fuck that shit. That's for nerds." And I get it. She
Yeah.
did the same thing, so I can't complain. But she was really good on
Elsie's
the violin.
daughter or his granddaughter, plays uh in a band setting or something, and they have competitions and stuff. She really
Well,
enjoys it, so
yeah.
maybe she'll wind up
I
in
mean,
music.
I posted videos of my daughter when she was playing violin. They took the gold medal like 4 out of 5 years that she was in the
That's
orchestra.
great. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I
and
remember
the
when she
one
was
year.
going to some competitions and stuff.
Oh yeah,
What
yeah.
do you,
Oh, dude.
not to change the subject, but to change the subject, what are you going to have for
Uh,
dinner tonight? Have you considered that yet?
um, no, not really. With Mama Hawk and I haven't really talked about it yet. It's only 6 o'clock, so
Early.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Early. Yeah.
yeah,
I guess
we got.
we hadn't done our normal thing today, so I guess Crocbog will have to be the lizard representation for today. Lorenzo.
Hey, Lorenzo.
Uh, but yeah, I'll be
Uh,
working on sketch
okay.
cards or something tonight. Maybe I'm excited to kind of start a Euphoria, at least pinup
You
or
gonna
something.
you gonna jump on with Homer? Isn't he doing something
Yeah,
tonight?
we're gonna do that on a rotating basis. Actually, I'm gonna host it on my birthday, and it'll be my time to
Oh
host
shit!
it.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
he said
Awesome, bro.
the first four to get it kicked off. He set up the first four over there, but then I'm the next person to host it. And we'll do it on a rotating basis. The people that are on the show will host it on their channels. So,
Nice. Rex
yeah,
is the hostess with the most.
with the hostess with the mostest. So, yes, on my birthday, I will be hosting it. I think Omar, actually had a comment about that up in the comment section earlier,
Oh
which I
man.
highlighted, but we were kind of talking. Let me find it here. It's been a while.
Oh.
Well, Funko Bog is
The
so cute. Omer
chat has
says,
completely
can't
lost.
fault Baby Bog.
Yeah, the little Funko Bob, the bug is awesome, bro.
How Deer wants me to do Cyber Bog. Now, see, I don't do like mechanical things too good. I need to concentrate on that, but Cyber Bog would be pretty cool, with some, a
Oh,
storyline where he's kind of put
some bionic enhancements, perhaps.
That's
Interesting. Like,
he says he's
what do
getting
you call that?
20 blank cards. You know, I don't know about that, but I will. You know,
What do they call that?
see.
Like, shit. Like Arnold was cyborg, where it's actually living tissue, but with like robotic, uh, brain and all that kind of shit. It's a combination. Cyborg, right? Isn't that weird? No. Hello.
I'm trying to find that one comment by Omer. I'm sorry. It's
Oh,
trying
okay.
to. Anyway, I will be hosting the show. We're going to be doing it on a rotating basis, and giggle physics on the street, boobs all over. And men like boobs and things like that, I suppose. I'm kind of like Sabrina in that. I want them to look realistic. They don't have to be hyper erect or something to be sexy. I like boobs just fine without the overblown, Debbie Does Dallas look or whatever you want to call it. There's Sunday Fun Day art nights. Let's see. Right there's the comment. Sunday Fun Day art nights will eventually jump over to Rex. Here is he is going to host the show on November 2nd, his birthday. Yep. It's a shared show, just like the Jack show or Ballers. That mini bog you have is a chibi style, would make good Funko Pop. Yeah. Yeah, well, that was the thing, Funko Pop bog, basically Funko bog. Yeah. I don't, I'll, yeah. Elsie can come on later. Yeah. Rex, after Rex is Dr. Ben, then Apex is on the schedule to host the show and rotate around the show like Ballers and Jack. So it'll be me, Dr. Ben, then Apex, and then maybe some others. So looking forward to hosting that on my birthday, because I probably won't be doing that much on my birthday. I will get to those markers, probably buying those markers that Carrie gave me $23 to buy the set for. I'll probably get to buying those in a couple of weeks. I want to get my check in that I didn't get in tomorrow. I know I've got to pay the printer for the additional 100 cards and probably pay her to do some additional things for the campaign. There's a couple limited cards that need to be printed up, and I want to keep her busy printing stuff up that's going to go out in the campaign. Maybe when we're almost done with the sticker book cover, maybe don't plan it for your birthday. Your sister may have plans for you on the first birthday together. Well, even when she's here, I'm going to do the 4:00 shadow show. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. I doubt she's going to come that early, but I mean, if she does, that's fine. Maybe I can get her in the background here, get her over here. I don't know. She really doesn't want to come on camera, but you will have to channel your inner Omer if you're sharing a show. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like he said, I can do what with the show, whatever, like he's going to do, like a drawing show, where we draw, but I may have something entirely different. I might have a guest on an interview. I might just have like a get together chat show, whatever. It can be whatever I want it to be. It can be whatever Dr. Ben wants it to be or Apex wants it to be. So that's that's pretty cool. Loose format. It doesn't necessarily have to be a rotating drawstring. Rex will do a talk show. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but we'll make it entertaining. Hopefully, wearing my Sergeant Rock shirt. I got that from Elsie a while back. He got me this generic sort of. I don't think it's officially licensed, but it could be generic Sergeant Rock shirt. It really doesn't show up that well, but there's some Joe Kubert Sergeant Rock. Pour that sugar on me in the name of love. Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Keep collecting. I'm gonna get back to creating. I'm gonna rest up for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
sorry
I'll be
about
over
that.
there on Omer's show, and hopefully,
Everybody have a great night.
Hey, don't you go anywhere. I want to tell you something. If you want to hear some spoilers, I'll give you a spoiler.
All right, cool. All right.
All right.
I'll